Hi everyone, my name is Sarah Huss and I am a graduate student currently enrolled in an oral rehabilitation class. Today we are going to discuss Hearing Assistive Technology Systems, or HATS for short. Specifically, we'll discuss the use of HATS in our schools. Let's begin by discussing what HATS are and what they do. In short, HATS are various technologies that increase listening conditions in situations and environments where other hearing instruments may not be enough. However, HATS can be used and be beneficial for those with or without other hearing instruments. If you have ever been in a public space and felt you could not hear what was being conveyed, whether that be a movie or a place of worship, the implementation of a hearing assistive technology system could have helped you. Four types of hearing assistive technologies we are going to discuss today are the personal FM system, the hearing loop, the infrared system, and another FM system known as a sound field system. Though a sound field system may be used in schools, I'll spend the most of my time talking about the personal FM system because this is the most commonly used hearing assistive technology system offered in a school setting. Let's start by talking about the hearing loop. The hearing loop is a system that is common in large group areas such as libraries. This specific system works with hearing aids or even headphones that you should be able to borrow at this setting. The person looking to benefit from the loop must have a telecoil setting available on their device. The telecoil is a copper wire found within an aid or implant, and it allows electromagnetic signals to be picked up by the aid or implant. The hearing loop works as we can see in the presented visual. The speaker at the front of the room uses a microphone that is connected to an induction loop that is typically installed under a carpet or in the ceiling of the room. When they speak into the microphone, the loop turns the signal into an electromagnetic one, which will be picked up by the telecoil on the person's aid and turned into an acoustic signal. They can even adjust the volume they want. Next, we have the infrared system. The user would place the headphones as pictured in their ears, which would pick up infrared waves via a receiver emitted from, for example, the television. The receiver volume can be adjusted appropriately for the user, while the television volume itself can remain the same for the pleasure of everyone else in the room. The personal FM system, also known as the personal frequency modulation system, which are basically just big words to say that the person has a little, almost radio station operating before them. Cool, right? As pictured, the FM system is made up of a transmitter microphone, which the speaker wears, and a receiver, which the listener would wear. This receiver transmits the sound to the listener's ears or to their hearing aid if they are wearing one. In a school setting, this direct transference of information can greatly increase a child's capabilities, not only in terms of hearing, but in terms of learning as well. In addition, personal FM systems are flexible, sturdy, and mobile, which are the three of the main reasons why they're the most commonly used hearing assistive technology system in our schools. Due to the reason that the teacher's voice or other classmates' voices can be transmitted directly to the listener, the FM system overcomes poor acoustic classrooms and noisy environments that can be created due to background noises such as group work or noisy light fixtures. We might not think of these sounds, but to a person with a hearing aid, they can become detrimental in their learning process. The ability for the listener to hear the speaker over these distracting background noises is known as signal-to-noise ratio, or SNR for short. SNR refers to the amplitude of the signal over the amplitude of the noise. In short, how much louder the teacher's voice is in comparison to the noisy light fixture we discussed before. For example, let's say Mrs. Smith here is using her microphone to transmit what she is saying to little Johnny's receiver in his hearing aid. Mrs. Smith's voice must be 15 to 25 decibels, that's what amplitude or loudness is measured in, greater than the background noise in the classroom. Therefore, if a noisy fixture is creating 30 decibels of noise in the classroom, Miss Smith's voice, or the signal, must be presented at 45 to 50 decibels for successful listening to occur for Johnny. Sound field systems are another type of hearing assistive technology system under the category of FM systems that can be used in our classroom. Speakers are installed throughout the classrooms, and the teacher's voice is projected to all students, not just one listener. This overcomes issues with distance that one can face with an FM system. The benefit of using a type of system that all can listen through is that this type of hearing assistive technology system works for all students, not just those with a hearing impairment. For example, students with attention deficits, language deficits, learning disabilities, and more. Even typically developing children will stand a better chance of maintaining focus of their teacher's voice or other classmates' voices, as it is reiterated throughout the speakers in their classroom. Such as in the visual pictured, the speakers project the sound throughout the classroom and maximize any listener's experience. In this particular setup, the system is also equipped with a student microphone. It is important to note that in order for the sound coming from the speaker to be beneficial rather than reverberate and linger so other words are lost, the classroom should be set up for good acoustics. I know you might be thinking, how do I, a mere mortal, create good classroom acoustics? However, even if you do not have a sound field system, you should strive to make your classroom an environment with good acoustics. You can do this by placing down carpets or rugs, hanging blinds or curtains, as these two things will absorb sound. Turn off noisy equipment when it's not in use, and fix noisy light fixtures. These can become very distracting to students. Place tables at angles instead of in rows, because this forces sound waves to travel around the tables, opposed to just going in an array anywhere when the tables are in rows. Noise reverberation and noisy structures can be extremely debilitating in the listening process to the children in our classrooms. Consider these things during setup. If you have a child you think might qualify for a hearing assistive technology system, such as a personal FM system, you should begin by talking to a teacher of the deaf or audiologist employed by the school. In most districts, you should be supplied with an initial trial period of the FM system and see if it benefits the child. Some children are not keen to the FM system, or perhaps it is not the best fit for them. By learning more about the system and supplying the child with one for a period of time, it should help you see if this will benefit the child. Legislation such as the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act and the Americans with Disabilities Act mandate that any person with hearing or communication disabilities have the right to access hearing assistive technology systems. Under IDEA, a hearing assistive technology system should be included on the child's Individualized Education Plan, or their IEP. The child has the right to hear the teaching going on inside their classroom. This legislation helps advocate for them so that can happen. Thank you all for taking the time to learn more about hearing assistive technology systems in our school settings. For more information, visit the sites of the following two organizations or talk to a certified professional.